What's going on, people? It's Glenn and Cameron with another edition of How to Make a Living Without a Job. But did you wake up this morning running? And when I say running, I'm not talking about going for your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or for you crazy people, 24-mile run. I'm talking about mentally running over the list of things that you need to do in your day. I had a sales mentor once, and he really used just to drive us crazy. And I didn't understand it, but I understand it now. You have to create a sense of urgency in your life. Because essentially, we all only have 24 hours. But there are more people that tend to make their hours more effective than others. And why? They have a sense of urgency. They have a sense of purpose. They have a sense of, I have some stuff I need to do. If you're not like raring to go in the morning because you've got this list of things to do, you might be cheating yourself. Because if you're not running towards your future, if you're not really saying, hey, I got to get this stuff done. Because having the job mindset that I'm going to go to work from 8 until 5 or 6, and then I'm free, it can be disabling to your success. Because success is like crazy, jealous, and comes at the strangest times. So how do you create a sense of urgency? Number one, it goes back to goals. It always goes back to goals, because when you have your goal list, when you have these things that you need to achieve, and you have a strategy and a timetable, it creates a sense of urgency. Now, for many of you, you don't have goals or things that create a sense of urgency. You have bills that create a sense of urgency. Mortgages due on such and such date. The car payments due on such and such date. The credit card payment. Now, that's your orientation for urgency, because I think most places, rent's due the first week of the month. So it's the first of the month. There was a song about the first of the month. And that's a sense of urgency. I see all kinds of stuff. Another tip, if you're a hustler, first of the month, well, actually the last week of the month is a good time to get deals on Craigslist, because people are flipping their stuff to pay rent, get the car fixed or whatever, because they have a serious sense of urgency. But it's a sense of urgency that's produced by adverse circumstances. I'm not talking about creating that type of urgency. I'm talking about that you want something so bad that they wake you up in the morning. That type of sense of urgency. That is all, you are creating your life, you're creating your lifestyle. You're doing these things that you want to do because your future is so exciting that you can't wait to get there, and that creates this sense of urgency and purpose and activity. That's what you have to do to be successful in 2013. That's what you had to do to be successful in 1713. The thing is, urgency gives you a certain adrenaline rush. That whole, you're kind of like, I need to do this. Sometimes I have to crank mine down because it gets a little crazy. But with a sense of urgency, you can move mountains. I'll give you a really good example of having a sense of urgency. It was in a article that I got on Facebook. It was about this guy who taught himself how to learn very well and to learn very fast and retain information. He had a student in one of his classes, and she's like, this was before he started teaching. And she was like, I need to learn how to read really, really fast. And he didn't really understand why she wanted to learn how to read really, really fast. Well, the deal was her mother had cancer, and many of the treatments were not working. So she learned to read really, really fast to gain as much alternative medicine information as she could to help out her mother. And in the end, it worked. That's a sense of urgency. That's a sense of, that's extant urgency. But, sense of urgency for a worthy purpose. Because A lot of times when you are doing okay, you tend to coast. Big thing that happens in sales, like say you have a target, you have your numbers. A lot of times when a salesperson gets close to their numbers or hit their numbers, kickback time happens. It's like, yeah, because I'm going to hit my numbers and I'm not going to get fired. Now, a sense of urgency is like, shit, I hit my numbers. If I do some more, I'm going to make some more money. And a lot of folks pull back because typically if you hit your numbers and exceed your numbers, then they raise your numbers, which makes it harder, where you always have a sense of urgency. You always have a sense of urgency when those numbers are looming over your head. It's like, damn, I got to do 1.9? Really? Okay, let's go. So essentially, you have to figure out what elements are in your life that help you create a sense of urgency for your business, your personal development, fitness, whatever. You've got to figure out what those things are for you, because everyone, they're going to be different. Everyone's not going to have the same trigger points for a sense of urgency. And that's one of the reasons that a lot of people like cookie cutter solutions, but how can you have cookie cutter solutions for everyone when everyone's an individual? There are certain things that apply to all of us. We all need oxygen, we all eat, we all must work, but there's certain things that won't. Everyone is not driven by the same thing. And if you're not having that passion or that energy in your fuel tank, it may be that the things you're chasing don't trigger your sense of urgency. They don't trigger your, I need to do that. I need to get up. I need to make this happen. I need to be on this. You got to figure out what that is. And one of the exercises that I really suggest is for you to take a day and be with you. Figure out what you want to do, because when you are working or you're in your business, you have all that noise. And sometimes when you get into a different environment, and I mean, it may be as simple as going out and renting a nice hotel room just for a day to escape your environment. Because your environment has triggers, and your environment has habit producing elements. So, like I'm in my office right now. So when I come in here, bam, it's time to work. It's time to make something happen. It's time to do something. It's time to make a video. Because you can set your environment up where it will help you trigger what you need to trigger for you to vroom, vroom, get your engine started. I mean, seriously, rent a hotel room, go in there, paper, you can videotape yourself, you can do whatever, and ask yourself this main question: why am I doing what I'm doing? A lot of folks never ask themselves that question. It's like they just get up and it's like, I go to work. Or they'll say something that is socially acceptable, but intrinsically a big ass lie. Well, I'm doing it for my family. You're doing it for your family, but you never spend any time with them. I'm doing it because of this and this and this. But no, you never really do that. I'm a writer because I want to write, but you never write. I'm a hustler because I want to hustle, but you never ever hustle. Many people are in that I wanna, but I'm not doing. And that's the whole thing. Urgency is really close to action. They are like kissing. So if you got a sense of urgency, it's going to provoke you to action. It's going to move you. It's going to push you to action. And you have to really pull back from living inside your skull that all this wonderful stuff is going on in there, but it never ever comes out of your brain into the real world. You've got all this stuff that you want to do, these grand ideas, these things you're working on, but they don't ever pop out of the head. They just stay up there in wonder fantasy land. So go get a hotel room. Or for me, walking, every time I go for a walk, I come up with some type of ideal, video topic, book topic, something. Every time I go walking. So for me, and I discovered that, to go for a walk with my headphones on, stuff just starts bubbling to the top. You might need to take a drive. You might need to go to the gym. You might need to go to the beach. There are some people who are going to get extremely inspired when they go to the beach. So you got to figure out what is your mojo. What really gets your mojo saying, yo, I'm here, let's do some shit. You want your mojo like, come on, man, let's go, let's go. Your mojo is like your BFF saying, hey, let's get this life, let's get this money, let's get this joy, let's get this happiness. Because I have really just pretty much stumbled onto some stuff. Because recently, since I started the Hustling Mindset Project last year, I've learned a lot about myself, and that's one of the things about action. When you're throwing stuff out there, you're like, oh, I didn't mean to throw that out, but let me look at that again. And you kind of pick it up and you look at it and you're like, that's actually kind of cool. Never would have came out if I hadn't taken action. And the other side of action is sometimes you are running and trip, boom, you're going to fall. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh no, it's going to be a wonderful journey. You're going to trip and fall at times. You're going to mess up. You're going to bust your face. You're going to bust your lip. You will be embarrassed. And if the thoughts and fears of being embarrassed is holding you back, understand, I've been embarrassed. I've done stuff. I've made a total ass of myself on YouTube. I've gone in forums and like lost my freaking loving mind. And it's just like, it's life. Okay, what did I learn from that? Don't do it anymore. And I haven't done it anymore. You know, many people here on YouTube are like, hate my social media policy, and I do have one. If you're not really contributing to the conversation on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, excuse me, inmates 0081, walk to the plank. You walk in the plank and you're getting the fuck out, because I understand that positive people create positive energy. And that's not to say there's not any room for disagreement, because there's a lot of people who disagree with me and they've disagreed for years, but they've done it in a respectful manner. There's other people that are like, I want attention, so I'm going to say the craziest ass shit that I can say because I want attention, because I have no power. So I must go to someone that I think or feel has power and try to siphon off some, because I'm an ineffective, weak-ass little bitch. And that's something else, and I'm going to address that. If you spend more time hating, paying attention to people that you don't like, than you do invested in your own life, the returns of your efforts, you are one of the stupidest fuckers on the planet. And there's a lot of people who get what I call hate lock. They get locked on hate on a person, and they invest so much time and energy that the real things in their life start to disintegrate. Recently, you know, some stuff jumped on YouTube for the last 6 months. I just put my head down and went to work. Operation Ignore Bitch came in effect. And I've recently checked. Many of those people who were doing all that shit, they've suffered some bad consequences. Why? Because the sense of urgency was in the wrong place. Your sense of urgency needs to be on things that will make you better, make you happy, give you more freedom, and put more money in your wallet. If your sense of urgency isn't triggered or keyed in on those 4 things, what are you doing? Why? Are you spending inordinate amount of times on things that do not provide any returns of nothing? No joy, no happiness, no peace, no freedom, no money. Why are you doing it? You know why you're doing it? Because it's a habit. You've developed a janky, counterproductive habit that's not going to serve you well. Many people do it. I had one. I had to really work hard, because, you know, I talk about television. I used to be a TV zombie, just, ooh, look at that. This show makes absolutely no sense, but my dumb ass is still watching it. Stuff like that. So, for you to get that sense of urgency, that running feeling, that thing that just gets you like, I got to do this. I got to make this happen. I got to get this in my life. You've got to figure out you, because this is the thing that I've observed, and I was guilty early in my life. Many of us, we seek external solutions for internal problems. You must solve the internal problems internally. That's like when you have an infection on like your liver or something, they give you an antibiotic orally, or they inject it, or you get it through an IV so it can go internally to work. Because if they just rub that on your skin, some things you can rub on your skin, but most things you rub on your skin, it's not going to work because it's at the wrong application site. If you are trying to apply the wrong thing at the wrong site, no wonder it's not working. And many people just kind of do stuff based on routine, or those people that say, well, you know, that's a good idea, you should really do that. Because those people, whoever the fuck those people are, because I've never met those people, I don't know who they are, I've never seen them, I never had lunch with them. So in my life, they're really nobodies, and I treat nobodies with this much regard. So when you're putting together your life plan, because that's one of the things that teaching the hustler mindset, you must put together your life plan, and then you put together your business plan. This is something I learned from having, you know, businesses, and putting my business plan first, then my life second, and wondering why I did not have a lot of free time, why I didn't have the relationships I wanted, because I was so focused on one thing. So when you're doing this stuff and creating your sense of urgency, you got to think, what really makes you smile? I don't care how perverse it may be, that's your thing. I got a friend, right? And I'm not going to get too deep in this, but he has proclivities. And, you know, we talked about it. And a lot of people, you know, in the personal side like to talk to me because I don't really judge too many things. I judge dumbassness. I judge fuckery. But if you got something you like to do, and it's your thing, and it's not involving animals or small children, I don't care. And his thing doesn't involve animals or small children, but he really likes it. And I was like, do it. Because also the stories were really funny, and I love to listen to the stories. And he started to own that stuff, and he got like the best people in his life who also share what he does, and he's not been happier because he owned his thing. Because understand, your thing, like, give you an example. I am not really crazy about tattoos. I will say, since I'm an artistic soul, that I have seen people that had a beautiful setup. They didn't just have shit thrown on their body. There was a story, and you could like see it and immediately get the story. And I'm like, this is one chick. She had a T-top on, and I guess whatever it's called, like 2 sleeves and all this up there. And I was like, that is really hot, because I see this and this and this, because there was some Asian stuff, there was some Hawaiian stuff, and actually I guessed it correct, because she was a Filipino, a Samoan, because she was like 5'11". So if you know anything about Filipinos, most of them are not 5'11". And, you know, we just had a nice little conversation, because, you know, she didn't just do stuff. So what I'm saying is, you know, it's not my thing, but it's what's your thing. And if you do your thing right, someone who's not really crazy about your thing at large, because I see a lot of crazy tattoos that make me go, what the fuck? And, you know, I'm not there really crazy about it, but her stuff was hot because she did it and she owned it and she did it in a certain way. And no, she wasn't that cute. It was the tattoos and other things. So just, you know, let you know, it's just she did her thing so well that it pulled me from that space of going, ah, to like, wow, that's pretty cool. So when you own your thing, when you really own your thing and have that sense of urgency and that sense of purpose, you could create energy that normally would not exist. So as you get up tomorrow and you ask yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? You may not need to be doing what you're doing. You might need to be doing something else if you develop the courage to move forward. All I'm saying is you need a sense of urgency to get you where you need to be or want to be. Otherwise, you're just marking time. All right, this is Glendon Cameron, and I'll see you on the good side. What? I'm running towards my future.